And welcome to the Pocono International Raceway, where we are getting ready for racing here at the Tricky Triangle with three different shape and style turns and the oh so important fuel mileage racing. So I am being joined up here in the commentary booth by Season 5 Budweiser All-Pro Series champion, Mr. Seth Cole. Seth, thank you so much for joining me up here.
Hey, thanks for having me. Great to be back at Pocono, the place where I texted and drove at the same time in an Oreo Truck Series race. It was great.
Yep. So, we got three turns, all of different bankings and different shapes. What is a driver's mental preparedness just to get ready for this track?
Well, I think first off, they need to not pull a me. Back to when I was doing commentary on the 2003 races, I would, for some reason, seem to remember Pocono as a four-turn racetrack. And I'd be like, take them out turn number 4, which was actually turn number 3. I think that's the first thing these drivers have to remember, is that there's 3 turns, not 4. So that way, like, if it comes down to the final lap and they're thinking, oh, I got to wait till the final corner to make my move for this win, they remember that final corner is turn 3, because there is no turn 4. Secondly, I think that another big thing these drivers are going to have to do, you mentioned that there's fuel mileage that will come into play, but also this is a track that really can rip up your tires, especially turn 3. You can normally run pretty wide open through turns 1 and 2. You can get through them pretty nicely, but you are going to have to use the brake if you're going to maneuver your way through turn 3 and not end up hitting the wall coming onto the front straightaway. So not only fuel management, but also tire management is going to be key in today's race.
Well, for the first time this season, Trent Dunham has put his number 1 Sega Chevrolet on the pole alongside second place in the number 34, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken. That's Adrian White. Yep, Adrian White. Along best starting spot for that number 34 machine. So as we got our strategies down, as explained very good by Mr. Seth Cole, let's go trackside for the command.
Drivers, start your engines.
And the command to fire the engines has been given. I almost said trucks. The cars are getting ready to pull off pit lane and onto the racetrack. So, Seth, as you can see, you are starting in the 6th position, right next to your favorite car in real life, the number 13.
Absolutely.
That just happens to be driven by Stephen Pollard III. So tell me again here, what track do you think scares you the most at this track?
I would have to say turn 3. Turn 3 is the treacherous area. And, you know, it's going to be interesting to see if these drivers decide to try and go double wide through that corner, because so many times you got an ill-handling race car, that is your worst nightmare, because that turn, I'm not even really sure what it is about that turn that causes drivers so much pain. I don't know if it's that the way that there's very little banking there, and so the cars will tend to drift up, and that's what wears out the right front more often than not, or what it is, but drivers that's why they call it the Tricky Triangle. That turn can really make or break your race.
Still freshly repaved, so you figure the tires have a little bit more grip, but just the way you have to run this track eats up your tires badly.
Exactly.
So, we got, if we're going to quickly go through your top 10 starters here, you got Trent Dunham and Adrian White, Daniel Voiles and Dylan Young, Stephen Pollard III, Seth Cole, Steve Pollard, Cody Lamas, and then, then you got Nathan Hudson and Charles Jackson, who surprisingly got a win so far this season. So congratulations, Charles.
Keep in mind, we got our defending winner from last week, Anthony McCrory. Now, he's got 2 wins this season, But he's only got 2 top 5s, and those top 5s came when he went to victory lane. He's mired 29th in points, so he needs more consistent runs to move himself up through the points. Maybe he can do it today.
That's right, as the green flag is out. And look at who's already making it 3 wide, because it's very possible to do at this kind of racetrack.
And you mentioned as well with the fuel mileage and everything.
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh,
boy,
no.
wow. Voyle. Oh, there it goes, Voiles. Up into Dylan Young.
Oh, who comes down in the track.
And more. The 6 is around. I think I saw McCrory. Yep.
Yeah, Anthony McCurry.
JT Bryant.
JT Bryant, our Daytona 500 winner and a winner at Richmond, 2-time winner this
Yep,
season.
both of our multiple-time winners this season caught up in this wreck.
Jessica Villanueva, second in points. Anthony McCurry, last week's winner, although McCurry doesn't seem to have a lot of damage. Oh, yep, he does on the rear.
We got rear end damage, yeah.
OT, Ryan Rezzo, Dylan Young, and I think I saw Jessica Shelton actually go to pit road.
Not certain. I didn't see. Oh, Villanueva just got dumped.
I'm not sure what that was all about. If it was
I'm not sure either. Was that off of Petty's nose, or was that off Arndt's or McCurry's?
Yeah,
I don't know.
There's Shelton on pit lane, and Jessica Shelton's terrible season continues.
Yeah, she's really been struggling there in that Coke Vanilla Chevrolet. 31st in points.
Yep. So our very first caution is out as we go up further ahead. Oh, Charles Sanford has some bad front end damage, and I think the 18 has some. No, maybe not. I think that's just the way I'm looking at it. So I guess the 03 of Sanford was involved in it as well.
He might have been. Might have run into the back of somebody there. John Citadino's got a little bit of a buckle on the hood of his 72 as well, it appears.
And some rear end damage.
Rear end damage as well.
Alright, well, we're under caution for the first time today. We're going to check and see if these cars are going to come down pit road real quick before we take a look at the caution. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see exactly. We know what happened to bring out the caution, even though we're going to look at it with this 26 getting turned. But I'm interested to see what happened with Jessica Villanueva.
Yeah, something tells me that somebody was trying to make a statement there and hook the 78 around, and from what I saw, just from the naked eye when we were watching it live, it looked like the two cars that got together were the 61 and the 78 when they spun down to the inside out of turn number 1, and that would make me think that maybe it was McCrory who turned the 78 car. Don't know for certain though.
Alright, well, we're going to get a chance here to see who's going to come out of pit road first. Well, I'm sure we'll see multiple different. Oh, the 13 actually got into the 52 back there.
Now that ain't nice. Come on.
First car off of pit road is the 20, and then the 1. Look at Joe Gibbs trying to come off the racetrack pretty good here. You got 5 Joe Gibbs. You got 5 Joe Gibbs cars. 5, I think 4 or 5 Hendrick. No, 4 Hendrick cars. So actually, Joe Gibbs dominates the series. But as you see the cars come off pit road, we're gonna go back and take a look at a replay to see what happened to bring up the first accident, first caution. All right, we're looking here at the 26 of Daniel Voiles, and as you can see, the 26 is already sliding up the track.
And you got to remember, too, this is the first lap these drivers were running on. These are cold tires, which means that, more than likely, tires haven't gotten any grip yet with them heating up, and Voiles deciding to make an aggressive move 3 wide already. Just slid up the racetrack there, and nowhere for Dylan Young to go. He goes down, yeah, he got the 41.
That's where the 72 got its buckle right there as well.
Yep. And then Dylan Pote got hooked, and he gets sent straight up into the wall, and there's JT Bryant.
Look at Villanueva, though. That's the interesting thing here. I think a secondary wreck happens up ahead. Let's see. We're looking at the 51.
There's Sanford. There's where he got involved up ahead there with John Arndt as well.
Villanueva, look, she doesn't really hit anybody, I think. At least not. Look, she doesn't get into the 61 or anything. There's where Shelton got her damage. There. Oh, yeah,
the 14? Did she kind of hook metal with the 14?
I'm not sure.
I think she and the 14 made contact. But there you see the 78. I think what McCrory, if it was McCrory that turns Villanueva, it might have been McCrory thought he had it all saved, and he sees the 78 come sliding in.
Oh yeah, it looked like right off the side of the 14 car.
Yep.
Okay, now let's see what happens here.
Who's she get turned by? My money's on the 61, but we'll see. Oh, no! It was up ahead.
There was another accident.
41 car.
It's Benjamin Miles and Chuck Petty, it looked like. Oh no, it was even further
Oh,
up.
wow. Okay,
Oh,
so
he's-
Arndt was off the pace.
Oh yeah. And the
Miles tries to pass him. There comes Petty and turns him down the racetrack into Villanueva, who's just trying to race back to the yellow flag.
Yeah, well, let's hope that they get a lot of these cars repaired as we get ready to go back underneath the green flag with a little less than 20 to go, since there's only 20 laps in the race. Alright, welcome back here to Pocono. We got about we'll have about 15 laps to go on the restart. These cars did pit, but I'm assuming they're not going to have enough fuel to make it the rest of the way. Cars out of the race include Jessica Shelton, JT Bryant, Dylan Young, Dylan Pote, Anthony McCurry, Benjamin Miles, Chuck Petty, Daniel Voiles, Charles Sanford. And then we got 3 cars 1 lap down, who the 55 is just now making it up to the field. Your top 10 rundown is Daniel Gilbert, Trent Dunham, Adrian White, Seth Cole, Cody Lamas, Nathan Hudson, Andrew Rich, Stephen Pollard III, Sean Henley, and Keith Rich. Wow, that did not take long for those lap cars to just die. Kind of.
Yeah, they were pretty badly damaged, all 3 of them.
Gonna keep our eye on them.
Oh, 4 wide almost. Yikes.
Yeah, but in a way you have to do it to get around these lap cars in a hurry if you want to be in contention
You're right.
in this race.
Because you gotta remember, this is a pretty big racetrack, and so, you know, especially on restarts is the time you have to try making the moves here to be able to gain track position. As you can see, the 88 getting held up there on the high line. I think the...
Oh,
77. Oh, there's a spin! And it's Seth Cole, and he's gonna get clobbered!
Oh my gosh, by the rest of the field. Ah, and there goes Citadino.
Oh, 1 car upside down! Citadino on his roof.
God, we were paying attention to the lap cars. We didn't even pay attention to that. Seth Cole, Citadino. That's safe to say Trent Dunham got the lead back.
Yes, it is.
I'm assuming that might have had something to do with Seth Cole. Okay, let's see. John Arndt further off the pace. John Racer, Anthony DiCaprio, Kyle Matthews, Dougie Shears, Michael White, and others. Steve Pollard, Annabelle Baldwin, possibly. Jeffrey Finguy looks clean. 77, Johnny Gardner has some damage. The only Dodge in the field whose highest finish has been 3rd. I think it was either 3rd or 2nd. Ooh, stacking up now.
Oh, and they're back in on the backstretch. Alex May and the points leader.
And yep.
And okay, well.
Well, I guess there's no such things as brakes in these cars, because that just ruined Annie Thomas's and Annabelle Baldwin's race. As we're gonna go further up the field here, I guess we can kind of attribute this to some lapped cars, but I guess not. I don't think these cars are going to come down pit road again, and even if they do, we'll check up on it. But right now, we're going to go take a look and see what happened to Seth Cole to bring out this caution. Alright, so here we go.
Okay, hold on. In my defense, okay, this was not my fault. I was texting, yes, but I was sending a pizza emoji to Domino's so they'd send me my favorite pizza, and apparently when I hit send, everything just seemed to die.
Alright,
so,
as you see,
it's Domino's fault.
As you can see, Seth Cole just going through the corner like usual. The Cody Lamas had a good run on the inside, but he could not make his car stick. As you see him just start sliding up the track, and Cody Lamas just gives the back quarter panel of his car right up into the 52, up into the wall they go, and hard into the wall.
Apparently llamas don't like mac and cheese, I guess.
And then as Seth saved it, the 11 car whips it down and turns the 52. See Charles and Stephen Pollard III make it through. You see the lapped car Jessica Villanueva make it through. You see his Seth Cole's teammate Sean Henley make it through. But then nobody else.
Yeah, this was the problem with the lap machines at the start of that. When we went back to green, it split the field up into like 2 packs, and so when one car wrecked from the first pack, everybody else trying to make their way through the smoke, and it's like a nice little parking lot here on the middle of turns 1 and 2.
Pretty much. All right, we have an onboard camera with the 18th, wrong way, of O'Neal Baldwin. As let's see what his view of this wreck is. Actually gets a good clean way through it.
Yeah, he does. Does a nice job driving through that.
Alright, now we're going to have one more on board with Mr. Seth Cole himself.
Craftmobile!
Oh my goodness. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's what happens to bring out the second caution, so let's go see who's left and where they're going to restart. Alright, welcome back here to Pocono as we're going to get ready for some more, hopefully, green flag racing, to say the least, as we're coming to a restart with 10 laps to go, which means we shouldn't have to worry about lapped cars at this point, hopefully.
Right.
So another long list of cars retired include John Arndt, Anthony DiCaprio, Seth Cole, John Cittadino, Jake Haynes. Oh no, that's not Jake Haynes. Sorry, I'm thinking of last season. The 43 of Darren Blake. It's Blake, not Drake. Blake. 14 of Kyle Matthews, the 51 of Alex May, the 4 of Michael White, the 88 of Annabelle Baldwin, the 15 of Annie Thomas. And that's it. And the 19 has no fuel of Dougie Shears. As we're back underway here at Pocono, we have it's Trent Dunham, and then it's the 17 Keith Rich, then it's the 27 of Andrew Rich, and others as we go back underneath the green flag.
I'd like to point out something here too. Trent Dunham's been leading a good majority of this race, and this race could work out well for him in more ways than one. First off, Trent Dunham right now currently finds himself 9th in the point standings without a win. You look at the drivers that were the front runners in points coming into this race. You got Nick Altendorf. We know he got involved in that stack up under our last caution on the back straightaway. Annabelle Baldwin, we know that she's been involved in her fair share of troubles. I believe you mentioned her out of the race. Jessica Villanueva's caught down. Annie Thomas is also out of the race. So the top 4 in points, none of them are really running well.
We have a bit of a problem going on right now with the 20 of Daniel Gilbert, as his car is not running. It is not, you'll hear him pass, there's no engine on that number 20 car.
Well, I think he might be out of fuel. Remember back when they made the pit stops, all the leaders did? Daniel Gilbert's team got him out ahead of Trent Dunham. They may not have gotten all the fuel in that machine, and that's what allowed them to get off pit road first at that point in time.
Well, I hope he can get to the corner pretty good, because I know a lot of these drivers do not like to go to the inside in turn 3, but these cars are fastly approaching him.
They're going to catch him. He better get to an apron there, but I don't know if there is an apron in that corner.
There is, but they're going to go past him. Looks like they're going to go past him pretty clean.
Yep.
I just hope that his car being slow isn't going to bring out a caution flag.
It all depends on whether he makes it back around. I don't know if the car stopped on the racetrack, if they would throw a yellow flag for that or not, but that is big question mark right there.
In real NASCAR, the caution flag would have been thrown already, because he was he's not getting off the track, nor is he going to be able to make it back to pit lane.
No, you're right. He's not on the apron. He's got 2 tires, the 2 right side tires still on the racing surface, so that would still make him a bit of a hindrance there to these drivers who are still running up to full song. Trent Dunham, I'll tell you though, he's got that 17 right in his back bumper. He may have to do some mirror driving here in a moment.
And if you look at the fastest lap, look who has the fastest time.
Yeah, 51.9. That's about, roughly 10th and a half faster than second highest, and leaders are coming into pit.
Oh, and there's... Oh, the caution!
Whoa, they're having to dodge the 20.
The caution is out. They threw the caution for the 20.
And this is very interesting because Trent Dunham and company just came onto pit road. they got to get those pit stops done quickly and not have the pace car lap them.
No, this racetrack is big enough that they will not get lapped, and even if they do, by the time they come around, the pit road will be open, and we'll see everybody come down pit road.
Gas and go. He realizes he got to get off pit road, but the other one's going to go for tires. Jackson there.
Well, get it done now, and you'll be able to stay out and be the leader, possibly.
Good point.
4 tires. Looks like 2 tires for the 27 and the 54, and 4 tires for the one who's going to come out of pit road third out of the 4 cars that came down pit road.
Interesting strategies there is finally the 20 car had to teleport to pit road completely out of fuel, and now's the big question for these guys.
Yeah, what's the strategy going to be? Because they're not going to have to make a pit stop. There's 6 laps to go. So, if anything, I think we're going to get either a 3-lap or 2-lap restart.
And here's the interesting thing, too. Do you attempt to try and give up 5th place, which is more than likely where these drivers, one of them will start for the restart, by going with 4 tires? Remember, Trent Dunham went with 4 tires. Charles Jackson went with 4 tires, but the 27 elected to go with 2. The 17 went with fuel only. So, do you try risking going with a 2-tire stop in order to start 5th on the restart, or do you risk it and go with 4 tires of fresh rubber for the restart? It's going to be interesting to see what strategies are played out here with this bigger group of cars.
Well, regardless of what happens now, remember the 1 car does have fresh tires. He took 4. The 17 took fuel only, and I think the 27, I think it was?
Yeah.
And others, they all came down pit road with 2 tires. Oops, wrong
42 car there went with fuel only, it looked like. A couple of drivers near the rear of the field of the lead pack going to try and gain some track position.
Yes, it looks like it as they come off of pit road here. And Trent Dunham and them were able to cycle around as the leaders because they didn't have to pit.
Yep.
The 20 car will still be a lap down. You got a bunch of these lapped cars. Well, you got Villanueva and Ryan Rezzo that are going to be in the way unless they pit this time by.
Yeah, they may have to pit this time by because I think that they're pretty much on the same sequence as the leaders are. The interesting factor for me is we know the 20 cars just come off pit road. He's going to be between 4th place Charles Jackson and who will be restarting 5th, which of course will be the 34 of Michael White. So that'll be an interesting thing. How quickly could Michael White get around? Oh, Adrian White, my bad.
The 4 of Michael White.
One of the Whites.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back for the restart and see what's going to happen here at Pocono. All right, we're back here at Pocono, and an interesting development. The 17 of Keith Rich, came down pit road. So that's going to cycle the lead to the 27 of Andrew Rich, with Trent Dunham right behind him coming to a restart with 3 laps to go.
And this surprises me too, because you can't think that the 17 was in any way of the mentality of, okay, we're not going to have a chance of winning this race. Let's stay out an extra lap here, lead a lap, get a bonus point, and then come to pit road and get the fresh rubber, because he was up there hounding Trent Dunham for the lead not moments ago. So I'm very curious about why they came back to pit road. But there you see him go to the inside, and here we go, starting to fan out.
Yep. They got 3 laps to get stuff done, and they're going to go 3 wide. Look at Charles Jackson going for his 2nd win of the season. Oh, Jackson got sideways.
And look at that, 34 almost got into the 54 as Charles Jackson tried to gather that race car back up.
As we see them coming down the backstretch, you got to also remember one thing. That 20 is a lap down right here, who's going to kind of hold up his teammate a little bit on the outside. Daniel Gilbert is, in fact, 1 lap down. But this is where the action's going to be. Trent Dunham, remember, he took 4 tires, and he quickly made work on the 27.
And the 27 only went with 2 tires, so Trent Dunham has a rubber advantage as far as Goodyear Eagles underneath him. That 27 car, he's really got to hope that something goes wrong with Trent Dunham's Sega Chevrolet.
2 laps to go, and we are still under the green flag. And now Charles Jackson going to look underneath the 27 once again. Couldn't get his nose underneath there.
The only one I can see, really, who's going to be any kind of a possible challenge for Trent Dunham could be that 54, but he's got to clear the 27 first before he can even think about running him down. That 34 car, though, may be able to do something, too.
Yeah, we'll see. As we're looking at Charles Jackson here, diving it off into turn number 2. A good battle in the back there as well between Nathan Hudson and O'Neal Baldwin. Getting in here now. Here comes Charles, going to try to take another look on the 27 car. He might be able to stay side by side with him this time.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. This is making the move there in turn number 3, where the high side seems to be able to get the good run off the corner. But looks like Jackson may be able to get a little bit of a draft with the 34 down the front straightaway to clear.
White flag, 1 lap to go. Dunham out to a very good lead.
And they're racing really hard for second behind him. That's what Trent Dunham wants to see.
Charles Jackson is going to get clear for second, but I think if he had maybe 5 more laps, he'd be able to catch the 1 car. But because of all
he used the high side there to get a good run down that straightaway, but I think there's too much of a gap.
Yes, but because of all, unless Trent Dunham has a problem, I think this is going to be Trent Dunham's race.
Talk about domination. Trent Dunham, really, he's been out in front most of this race, and this is going to be a huge points day for him. Coming off of turn 3, he's looking for win number 1 of the season.
Trent Dunham went winless last season, comes off of turn number 3, and he will win the Axalta 400 here at Pocono.
They never wavered from their strategy. They didn't even risk it on pit road. They went with the 4 tires that they knew was going to help get them to the front. He's had the strongest car all day, and there you go. Trent Dunham's going to go to Pocono victory lane.
Absolutely, and that's going to add his name to the list of drivers who are vying for the chase this season. We already have 2 drivers confirmed going to be in the chase. That is JT Bryant and Anthony McCurry.
And I'm looking at the point standings here coming into this race. JT Bryant was behind Trent Dunham. Charles Sanford, Benjamin Miles were ahead of him. We know that all 3 of those drivers all will not be finishing this race, and so Trent Dunham, this not only gives him the victory, but this is going to move him up very nicely in the point standings as well.
Charles Jackson came up and kind of gave him a little bit of a congratulatory tap on the rear end there, because, you know, it's Charles.
Right.
Alright, and the standings are official with only 22 cars finishing the race. I'm going to export these. Season 6 Pocono. Trent Dunham, Charles Jackson, Adrian White fought his way back up to the 3rd. Andrew Rich, who tried to stay in the lead but couldn't, falls back to 4th. Great day for Stephen Pollard the 3rd and O'Neal Baldwin. After the season he's been going, a good run for that 18 car. Nathan Hudson, Sean Henley, James Silverfox, and Levi McIntyre round out the top 10.
And I'm noticing here a couple of names we really never talked about. We never really talked much about Stephen Paul III. He kept his car in the top 10 most of the day. James Silverfox, great run for him. And how about Levi McIntyre? Remember back on that last round of pit stops, that team went with fuel only, and that gained them some great track position to finish top 10.
That it did. Then you got Joseph Srigley, Jake Haynes, Steve Pollard, who was involved in multiple accidents, who still finished 13th. Nick Altendorf, Jeffrey Finguy, Nick Altendorf, who is the current points leader. He finishes 14th.
And I think he still will be. He still soldiered on with a damaged car for 14th. Nice run for him.
Jeffrey Finguy, Keith Rich, Cody Lamas limped home. So did Johnny Gardner, John Racer, and Ryan Rezzo. They all limped home. Pretty much everybody from 17th on down limped home.
I'd say everybody from about 13th on down limped home. The 9 car had damage, the 3 car had damage.
Yep, Dougie Shears. I don't know what happened with the 19. I guess he just ran out of fuel or something.
It's interesting too. Those are teammates, the 19 and the 20, and both of them we saw apparently have ran out of fuel.
English.
I'll
today.
get it one of these days.
English today is just not good.
You even English, bro.
I know, right? Alright, well, as you can see where you finish, probably a big point swing today. I kind of forgot where we're heading to next week, but it might be Michigan, or we might be going to Sonoma. I'm not sure. But anyways, so I want to say thank you once again to Seth Cole for joining me up here in the booth for this race.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Hope to see you again up here soon.
Sounds good to me.
Alright, as you can see where you finish, This has been Michael Norman and Seth Cole bringing you the Budweiser All-Pro Series on the NNSCRA Sports Channel, offline racing at its best. I will now let Seth Cole do his usual outro.
It's a Christmas miracle!
Alright. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to become a part of the crew today. And also, if you want to be in the future of the Budweiser All-Pro Series, this has been the NNSCRA offline racing at its best. From Michael Norman and Seth Cole, we say, until we meet again.
Bye!